Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're looking at teacher training.
Oh, nice.
Specifically, we're going to be looking at the Essex and Thames SCITT program. And maybe you're listening to this and wondering, what on earth is a SCITT?
Well, it stands for School-Centered Initial Teacher Training.
Yeah.
And I think the clue is in the name, really. It is very much focused around getting hands-on experience in schools right from the start.
Oh, wow.
So we're talking over 120 days in actual schools.
Okay.
Which is a significant proportion of the program.
Yeah, that sounds like you'd really be learning on the job there. That's got to be so valuable.
Absolutely.
But is there any kind of academic grounding as well?
Yes, definitely. They've partnered with Anglia-Ruskin University to offer PGCE accreditation alongside the program.
Okay.
So you kind of get that best of both worlds situation.
So you're getting the practical and the academic.
Yeah, the practical and the academic all rolled into one.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So where does all this training magic happen? Is it all kind of central in one location, or is it spread out?
So they have two training bases, one in Wickford and one in Witham.
Okay.
And the really great thing about this program is you actually get to experience placements at two different schools throughout your training.
Oh, wow. So you see a variety then.
Exactly. So you're not just stuck in one environment.
Yeah.
You get to see a variety of different schools, a variety of different teaching styles, and all of the lecturers on the program are all currently working in schools themselves.
Oh,
So it's all very current, up to date.
you're getting that firsthand experience from people that are in the thick of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Right.
Now, not everyone can jump into full-time training. So is there a part-time option available?
Yes, there is. So the part-time route can take anything from 4 terms up to 2 years.
Okay.
And it is very much tailored to individual needs. You still have to meet the core requirements.
So the 120 days?
So the 120 in school and 70 plus lecture days, they all still have to be met.
Right.
But there's a bit of flexibility about how you manage that.
That's good to know. Flexibility is key for a lot of people, I think. So what makes Essex and Thames SCITT stand out from the crowd?
Okay, well, I think a big one is they've got an outstanding Ofsted rating,
Oh, yeah.
which is a really big deal in the education world.
Yeah.
And what that means is they have high-quality teaching, high-quality leadership, and high-quality outcomes for their trainees.
Yeah. So you know you're going to be in good hands.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you go with this program. What happens after you've got your qualified teacher status?
Okay, so you then go into what we call the Early Career Teacher Induction Period, or ECT for short.
Okay.
And that lasts for 2 years. And there is a possibility for people to fast track that under certain conditions.
Oh, we like a little mystery. We'll come back to that another time.
Coming back to that.
Okay. So we've talked a lot about the PGCE element. Can you break that down a bit more?
Of course. So the PGCE itself is delivered by the SCITT with support from Anglia-Ruskin University.
Okay.
So you don't actually have to go to the university or anything like that.
You don't have to be based there.
No. But what's great is you do get all the perks of being an ARU student.
Ah, okay.
So you have access to the library, the online platforms,
Yeah.
student support services, social opportunities as well.
Well, so you could crash a university party with your student ID.
Potentially.
I knew I liked this. SCITT. Okay, back to business. So are listeners weighing up their options? QTS only or QTS plus PGCE?
Right.
Which path should they be considering?
So I think the first thing to say is that both routes will lead you to qualified teacher status, which means you are qualified to teach in the UK.
So that's the end goal?
Yeah, that's the main thing that you need. Now, the PGCE adds another layer onto that.
Okay.
So that is a master's level qualification, which means you're going to be looking in a lot more depth at educational theory, research, and reflective practice.
So it's like the standard edition versus the deluxe edition.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And a lot of people like to have that PGCE because it's really good for your CV,
Okay.
especially if you ever want to teach abroad. It's more widely recognized,
Right. Good
and
now.
it just gives you that extra edge.
So you're not just getting the theory, though, with the PGCE, are you?
No, so it's integrated alongside your school experience. So you'll be doing assignments based on what you're doing in the classroom.
Okay.
And actually, in terms 2, you get to do what we call a professional evidence-based inquiry.
What's that?
So this is kind of your own mini research project you get to look at. A current challenge you're facing in the classroom. And use your findings to improve your teaching.
So it's like becoming a teaching detective then.
I like that, yeah.
Okay, let's move on and talk about something that I think is on a lot of listeners' minds. Placement schools.
Yes.
How do they choose where you go?
So Essex and Thames have got a really good system for this. They really carefully select the placements
Okay.
to try and get a good match in terms of your experience, the age range you want to teach, and your personal requirements as well.
So it's not just a free-for-all.
No, absolutely not.
They put a lot of thought into it.
Yeah.
So when do you find out where you're going?
So you find out after the July induction, and then you're expected to contact the school to arrange an induction and tour before you start in September.
Okay, so you've got a bit of time.
Yeah, you get to meet everyone, get to know the environment.
And what age ranges are we talking?
So they offer a real variety.
Okay.
If you're interested in 5 to 11,
Mm-hmm.
you'll have 1 placement in Key Stage 1 and 1 placement in Key Stage 2. You'll also have visits to Key Stage 3 and early years settings.
To give you a broader experience.
Yeah, just to see how it all links.
So you're not pigeonholed.
No, not at all. And then for those who are drawn to the 7 to 11 age range,
Mm-hmm.
your 2 placements will span that 4-year period.
Okay.
And then you'll also get to visit Key Stage 3 and Nursery Key Stage 1 settings, including the early years foundation stage.
Oh, wow. So lots of variety there.
Lots of variety. And then if you're interested in the 3 to 7 age range, you'll
Yeah.
have 1 placement in Key Stage 1 and 1 placement in the early years foundation stage.
Right.
And then you'll have visits to Key Stage 2 and nursery settings.
So you get a real taste of everything then.
You really do. Yeah.
What about for listeners who are already working in schools?
Okay. So maybe they're working as a teaching assistant or something similar.
Is there a faster track for them?
Yes, there is. So Essex and Thames offer what they call the Assessment Only route,
Okay.
and that is specifically designed for graduates who are already working in a teaching role and have a wealth of experience under their belts.
And how quick are we talking?
Well, you could qualify in as little as 6 weeks.
6 weeks? I mean, that's going to be a dream for some people out there.
It is, but obviously there are criteria you have to meet.
So break it down for us.
Okay.
Who is eligible?
So you need to be currently employed in a teaching role.
Not just assisting.
No,
They're
yeah.
leading.
You need to have full responsibility
Yeah.
for the planning, the
Yes.
teaching, the assessing, and the reporting.
So you're in the driving seat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
And obviously you need the full support
Yeah.
of your employing school.
They have to back you.
Yes, because they need to provide evidence of your teaching capabilities.
That's like a glowing reference from your boss.
Pretty much.
What else is on that checklist?
So the standard qualifications do still apply.
Okay.
So UK citizenship or right to work in the UK,
GCSEs.
GCSEs at level 4, or grade C or above
Okay.
in English, maths, and science, and a degree from a UK university or equivalent.
So those are pretty standard across the board.
Yeah, absolutely. You also need at least 2 years of teaching experience
Okay.
and evidence of having taught in at least 2 schools.
2 schools. Why is that?
That's a really good question. I think it's because it allows you to demonstrate that you can adapt to different environments,
Right.
work with different student populations, and navigate different school cultures.
So you've got that breadth of experience.
Absolutely. Now, if you haven't taught in 2 schools,
Mm-hmm.
don't worry. You can arrange a 20-day alternative placement.
To make up for that.
Exactly.
Yeah, good.
It gives you that flexibility.
So you've got the 2 years teaching experience. You've
Yeah.
taught in at least 2 schools. Anything else?
Yes, one more thing. Experience teaching. The full national curriculum.
Okay.
So not just your specialism.
Right.
You need to have taught the core subjects.
So maths, English.
Maths, literacy, phonics, science. A range of foundation subjects.
So your geography, history.
Yeah, history, art, music.
Okay, so it's not a shortcut, this.
No, it's not.
You've got to have done the work.
You've got to put the work in.
But it recognizes what you've already done.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Okay, so I think we've covered a lot of ground there. I think it's time for a little pause. We'll come back in just a sec to wrap up our deep dive into Essex and Thames SCITT Teacher Training Program.